Ghost Beast!
Ghost Beast.
A horror podcast. I'm Todd, joined by my wife Becca. Hi, Becca.
Hi.
Hi. We just went on a little horror date to see Hard Eyes from 2025. I think it's perfect with Valentine's Day coming up to release something like this because since the very beginning, our first date was a horror movie.
Yes.
Shout out Green Inferno. It's the only thing playing. But that's why it's nice. Like we made it kind of a tradition around our anniversary to go see a horror movie, for better or worse. Because it's in fucking October. You'd think it would be easy to find like a good horror movie, but there isn't always something good playing.
Well, I feel like especially the year we started dating, like
I think that was literally it. It
was like there was not a lot of horror coming out at that time, like there is now.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm all about, having a chance to celebrate by seeing a new horror movie. We should have mentioned this is directed by Josh Rubin. So he made Scare Me. We like that one. And he also did Werewolves Within, which I was not a big fan of, but did really like Scare Me. And it feels a lot like recent movies like Freaky and It's a Wonderful Knife and stuff. And just so happens the writer did both of those. So that makes sense. So we were able to do, go pick up the boba, some Popeyes, and check out a movie. Like our ideal horror date, I guess this is definitely like part of us getting older, okay? Because to me, perfect horror date is go to the mall at like 10 in the morning to get
We sound so old.
To get Popeyes and boba. I thought it was funny that whenever we go there, you're always like, oh man, there's like no young people at the mall anymore. And it's like, yeah, it's 10 in the morning, Becca. Like, we are the ones there, not them.
Yes.
But then go over to the theater, and as usual, we didn't get there early enough, so we didn't have time to eat. So we had to just take the Popeyes and boba into the movie.
In a video game, no.
The pocket's full of fucking chicken. Like, not suspicious at all.
There was barely anybody there.
They don't give a fuck. We always just carry the boba in and nobody says anything. It's like, who cares? There's barely anyone there. The funny thing with this movie is that I had heard about it, but I hadn't seen anything. Like, I hadn't seen trailers. I just saw basically like the killer's mask, which looks super cool. But I heard it was good, and it just felt like, okay, it's going to be like another one of those seasonal slashers, which there's so many. I mean, even Valentine's Day has like My Bloody Valentine, and there's more than that I'm just not thinking of right now. But we already have the Valentine's Day slashers. Like, it's not like Thanksgiving where it's like that was like a clear opening.
Yeah.
Like Eli Roth just saw that and was like, perfect. It was a perfect little opening. But I think the thing that really surprised me about this movie, we're not going to spoil anything, but it is like less of a seasonal slasher and more of like a romantic comedy slasher.
Yeah.
Which I think it seems like people kind of knew that going into it, but I didn't know to expect that. And it delivers that like all the way because it's not even just like, oh yeah, it's a comedic slasher. It plays into like the tropes. I mean, there's straight up a scene of someone running to the airport after another person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's deliberately playing on all that.
Yeah, it touches on like every stereotypical rom-com moment in like a good way.
Yeah, that surprised me, and it's just very like evident watching the movie. I mean, even the setup feels like very rom-com because it's a slasher who targets couples for some reason, who like attacks every year around Valentine's Day. And the main actors, Olivia Holt and Mason Gooding, they were both, by the way, very good in this.
Oh, yeah.
They do the romantic comedy thing like super well. Like you could see them just being in one of those movies.
Yeah.
But the idea is that they're basically put into this this moment that makes them look romantically entangled.
Yeah.
And the killer just so happens to see this and thinks that they're a couple. So the whole movie is them being like, we're not even a couple. We're not together, when they're clearly building a relationship, and the killer is still going after. Like, that is so rom-com.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
the most rom-com direction you could go.
Yeah, totally. And it works with the comedy, it works with like the character development, because that is another really strong thing about this is, you know, you go to a slasher movie because you just want to see the slasher fuck up a lot of people. Mm-hmm. That's, you know, traditionally how it's done. And I will say, like, this movie, it's not very gory, I would say. It's more of like I feel like there's two camps of like modern slasher. You have the ones that go the like absolute shocking brutality route, like Terrifier or In a Violent Nature. Like there's a lot of them that are like that. But then you have the other ones which are like brutal in a different way, where it's like really loud and fast, but it's not cruel. This is more in that line of things, totally. But in this movie, like one of the things it does so well is that it makes the main characters so likable. So it's not like you're just waiting for these people to get killed. Like they are really the heart of the movie as they're like trying to survive against this slasher. So it kind of breaks from the stereotype a bit in that way too. And it is super fun. I had a really good time with it.
Yeah, me too. I think this is definitely a very good movie to go see like on Valentine's Day or like for a first date or something.
Yeah, totally.
I think it's really fun.
It's a good vibe check too.
Yeah.
Because someone's like, that fucking sucked. It's like, maybe that's a red flag. And it is super funny. Like I think I was like really curious, like who did write this, because it felt like a comedy writer, because there's so many like weird little details that I just thought were super fucking funny.
They're very like good one-liners coming. Like every now and then it would catch you off guard, like, oh, that was actually really funny.
Yeah, I mean, for me it was a little stuff like the guy in the beginning, there's someone, I mean, it's a slasher. You know, this kind of shit's gonna happen. It's not a spoiler. He gets shot in the head with an arrow, and there's this shot where like one of his eyes goes lazy, and it's like, it's so extreme, but it just winds up being like, cartoony. That's just a funny detail. Yeah. There's a lot of little stuff like that even like, it even makes the violence have a kind of sense of humor. Yeah. You know, it never feels like mean or anything. But I guess I'd just close this out by saying like, yeah, it is kind of like a Scream style slasher, where you are wondering like who's the guy in the mask, and they don't ask too many questions about that, which is cool, because it is treated as like just the serial killer who's been doing this for a long time. But the movie does go in that kind of direction where you do start to wonder like, who is this guy? And some of the ways that it answers that I thought were like, they were good. Yeah. They really kind of bring it home. But did you have anything else you want to say?
No.
Oh.
At a certain point, it just gets too hard. But, like, I just want to say it.
Let's get to spoilers. I want to say right off the bat, like, the design for the killer in this, I thought was super fucking cool. Yeah. Like, I think that mask is going to be super iconic.
Oh, yeah. I will say I was a little disappointed in some of the art department stuff.
Like what?
I think it's my own problem, because when I saw the marketing for this, it had a really fresh, like, I thought really great, like, graphic design. And I was like, okay, like, I feel like usually posters should, like, encapsulate aesthetically what's going to be happening in some form.
So you think the movie didn't match that aesthetic?
No, not really.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not like, it took me a second. It was like this one, like, very personal, stupid disappointment. And then it's like, okay, going in fresh to this and just experiencing it and taking my expectations off.
I see what you mean. Because it is very much like a rom-com style movie. Like even the way that it's shot and everything. So it's not doing that like super stylistic thing.
Yeah, and I think that's what I was looking for, was really something super stylistic, from lighting, color grading, you know, the special effects, how they would be handled and stuff like that. So
yeah, I think it wasn't that kind of movie.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for the mask, I did think it just looked really cool. I mean, the fucking hard eyes, it's like so iconic already. Yeah. But I did think it's funny when there's the scene of the power going out and the eyes light up. It was like, oh, this whole scene was just an excuse to light the eye. Because that's the only time it happens. Yeah. But it is like, I think it looks way cooler with the hard eyes lit up.
Oh, it's got to be
fucking awesome.
You got to have the hard eyes.
Yeah, they should have had that on the whole time. Yeah. So that was the only disappointing thing about the look is like, I wish they lit him up more.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
Could you imagine him like walking down a dark alley and you just see the hard eyes lit up? That'd be fucking cool as hell.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, it is funny how like I'm not a romantic comedy guy. It's not exactly a genre that I would say I watch a lot of, but I can appreciate the humor and the way that the tone, like they kind of complement each other.
Oh yeah.
Because it does go from being like very romantic and like silly to this like brutal violence, on the side. And I think that combination, like it just works so well. It feels like obvious.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm surprised nobody's really done this before.
Yeah, no, honestly, it is genius how it was put together because I think it does not shy away from any aspect of rom-com. It really threw in all these ideas, and I do think they all work together really well.
Yeah, and I think but then on the slasher side, I did think pretty early on, they set up the romantic interest, the guy, as possibly being the killer. I thought that like very early on that they were going to try to do that. And I think for me, it was just seeing his build. It was like, because he's this big ass dude. I was like, oh, I could see him being the killer. Although I don't know why I thought that, because none of these movies give a fuck about those details.
Yeah.
Because I mean, at the end, the lady police officer winds up being one of, and it's like, you could tell the difference. If Hard Eyes came and had like a slender like woman's build, I think you would notice that. That happened in Scream too. Like there was one of the Screams where a woman was one of them, and it's like, I'm pretty sure you could notice that.
Well, yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, I don't know why I thought like, oh, because he's a big guy, then maybe he's the killer. But anyway, like, it's funny how it does, like, it kind of presents that and plays with it because they start throwing clues that like, oh, maybe he is the killer.
I think they wanted you to think that.
Yeah.
That seemed like an intentional choice.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Is like it goes in that direction. And even though it does, and I guess that's what kind of feels like the Scream thing, because from the beginning it was like, oh, it's more than one killer and they're working together. So you start immediately wondering, like, are they, like when he's trying to kill him in the police station, even then it was like, is this just like for show? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I did also think though, when that IT guy was introduced in the police station, I right away was like, oh, maybe he's the killer. And it's like, because like, that's one of the problems with a movie like this that like, it has a pretty small cast. So it's like to have a character be like a suspect. Like if they just showed this guy at the end and you'd never seen him before, you'd be like, who the fuck is this? Like it doesn't do anything. Case in point, because the first killer, because there's 3 of them.
Yeah.
The first one that dies and they take the mask off, they're like, who's that? Because it's just like, I don't know, it's just some guy. So yeah, the fact they have the scene with the IT guy that just felt so pointless, it was like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing.
I feel like it was a little self-aware though.
Totally. Yeah. I'm not criticizing. It's just, that was just funny.
Yeah.
But it was, it was like an interesting and satisfying way to end it, because I was kind of thinking, like, when I thought it was maybe that guy, it was like, okay, well, I guess the question then is like, why is he doing this? And that's the thing that's important, because at the end, when it's revealed to be the IT guy and the police officer, on its face, that's just like, okay, whatever. But it's the way they explained it as like, this is their kink, like that's why they do it. That also just fit this movie and like what it was doing, and the Valentine's Day theme. I thought that was funny. That worked really well. Yeah,
it tied back into the foreshadowing of the police officer being like, everybody's got a kink or whatever. It was like, yeah, true, yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Like all that worked, and that felt like very Scream,
Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting that the movie, it's like I said, it's not super gory, but it's like the one part they save to go all out with the gore is killing the 2 villains at the end. Because that's when they get like really extreme. And I think that's an interesting choice. Because sometimes when you go excessive with the victims, it can feel like kind of cruel and gratuitous. You know what I mean? And to instead save it for the bad guys getting killed, I think that's a smart way to get around that,
Yeah.
And still have your big gnarly ass effects.
Yeah, I think on that note, I really do think I would have liked it if they lit that scene a little better, because I feel
yeah.
like I missed out on so much of the kills because it was like so dark, and I feel like there were so many like good kills happening, but like cut through really fast, didn't really get to see it.
Yeah, it was funny how in the beginning when she's getting squashed in the squeezing machine,
That was
like
crazy.
That was like, oh shit, but then they like have her explode
Yeah.
and her blood covers the glass so you don't see too much.
Yeah, no,
That's
that was
definitely
really well done.
That's definitely the style that they're going for.
Yeah. What was that?
I mean, they were a vineyard, so I'm sure it
Okay.
crushes grapes.
I wasn't sure if there was like, I was like, it was a brewery or something, but I was like, I don't know what that machine is.
Yeah, what are you crushing in there? Well, yeah, and her blood starts coming out and
Yeah.
filling the vats and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah, that whole opening was really cool, really effective way to set it up. And you kind of have to do that with the slasher, you know?
Yeah, I like that they also added, like, there's a lot of, like, Valentine's novelty in this, and I like at
yeah.
the sites he would do, like, a heart with rose petals and
Oh, yeah,
candles and stuff.
They went on. And it's funny because
Yeah.
that element, I realized that the other thing with the more, like, seasonal slasher movies is they really go into the, like, holiday tropes for the kills. Like, the kills themselves get really creative.
Yeah.
And this one, I mean, you have, he has a crossbow. It's like Cupid's arrow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But for the most part, he's just using the fucking machete. You know what I mean? Like, they kind of save it for some of the other details like that, like leaving the rose petals.
Yeah.
And he put the heart, like, in the center of it, like the
Yeah.
literal heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that stuff, that's still there. It's still, like, really effective. Oh, and it was funny how, like, they introduced that metal straw in the beginning,
Yeah.
and it's very quickly like, I guess it's a Chekhov's straw because they keep
Yes.
bringing it up. Like, when is she going to kill him with it? And of course, they find a way to do that.
Yeah. It was funny.
Just funny.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think the drive-in scene might have been like my favorite part of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that scene was really cool.
Yeah.
Like, aside from the obvious that, you know, a lot of people go to the drive-ins as a couple, so it's like this like fertile killing ground for him. And that was so funny. And I thought it was really cool how like basically the killer chases him into there and he's just like walking through totally
Yeah.
casually, and you get all the people around going like, what the fuck? Is that him? Is that the
Yeah.
hard Like, they're
Yeah.
all confused and he just doesn't care.
Yeah.
And there's the one dude who's like, hey, what's up, man? And he just fucking stabs him
Yeah.
instantly. Like, that was cool. You don't really see that in a lot of slasher movies, you know, because usually they're trying to sneak around
Yeah.
and do it in the darkness. But I did just like how much he did not give a fuck.
Yeah.
This did have a great funny scene too when they hide in the car and there's the people in the back having
Oh.
sex and you're just hearing like all the sounds while they're having a conversation.
Yeah, and like
That was super funny.
the moans are like responses to the things that they're saying, which is really funny.
That was very funny.
Yeah.
While they're hiding from a horrible killer.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then the way that ends with him stabbing them with the fucking tire iron.
Yeah.
And it's funny when the characters try to retrieve the tire iron as a weapon, it felt very much like pulling Excalibur out,
Yeah.
but it's out of this guy's fucking face.
Yeah.
Like, that was all really cool. But yeah, that's the part that ends with them killing him, and it really starts to act like it's wrapping the movie up. And it was like, wait, how long has it been? Like, it
Yeah.
feels like that's way too soon. But it was interesting how, like, yeah, when they take his mask off, it's that moment of like who are you? Like,
Yeah.
because I've been a fan of that too. We saw that movie The Conference, which did something like that. You remember?
Yeah. That was scary.
I've always liked that idea of the killer just being like some guy. I mean, it's even like Black Christmas is like that.
Yeah.
You know. I don't know if I just spoiled two movies, but
Maybe we should.
that's all right.
It's kind of hard to explain you like a certain genre of
Whatever.
slasher when it really is a spoiler.
Yeah, whatever. It's fine. It doesn't spoil the movies. They're still effective. Yeah, and it's cool that they bring it around and have like the big final scene that, like I said, was like Scream. We already talked about that. But at the very end, I did think it's funny, like when they have that little final scene. I think it was the after credits scene where it's like, was that before? When it was a year later? But in the after credits scene, when she winds up proposing to him, I did think it's funny. He basically pulled like a fucking Darcy from 90 Day, like pulling out the key. You remember that scene? I totally forgot about that shit.
Yeah.
I thought that was fucking funny. Look, if you know, you know. It's
Yeah,
when
if you know, you know.
acted like he was going to propose and gave her a key. And she was just like, what the fuck is this? I was like, oh shit, he pulled a... Like, what the fuck was that guy's name? I can't remember.
Jay? The character?
No, the guy in 90 Day.
Oh.
The British fucking guy. That was funny. And I think they are trying to set it up for a sequel. I think I actually saw today the director was talking about like other romantic comedies that they could parody. And I'm here for it because, like I said, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
So I would totally be down for a sequel. But did you have anything else?
Came in so hot.
You can go to ghostbeast.com for all our links. You can also search for Ghost Beast Pod and follow Ghost Beast on Letterboxd, where we rank everything we watch. How about this? Below Skinamarink and above It's What's Inside.
Okay.
It's number 44 on our list. And you can contact us at podcast@ghostbeast.com and follow us on TikTok for bite-sized versions. What's your favorite seasonal slasher? Bye.